Today we're going to talk about parallelograms. This is my second video on this, part 2. We're going to talk about how I make the chips. We're going to talk about the various jigs that I use, the measurements I mentioned in the last video. I'll go over everything. I'm thorough. It's a lot of information to download you at once, so I'll try to keep it as short as possible. I'm going to wear the camera. We're going to hop on the miter station behind me, and I'm going to show you everything in a short amount of time. Good luck. Let's do this. Okay, so we're at the miter saw. This is a jig. I use this for production, and I also, this is how you dial it in. Okay, so I screw mine through the back. I drill holes, and I screw this down. This is approximately 4 inches. This is 5 inches. 4 inches in height, 5 inches wide. Make sure your guard clears. You can double stick tape these. You can also get some CA glue with some painter's tape. You put tape on the bottom of this, tape on the bottom of this, glue them together. That works. The double stick tape, not so much for me. So what I'll do is, do we have a, yes, we do. So what we're looking for is, we're looking for something as far as when you dial these in, and always use scraps first, especially if you're using really nice wood. You're looking for the length is to be this thickness. So you want this as close as possible. You want these two right here as close as possible. So it's going to be the length and the thickness. So this is 1 inch and 15/16, and after you cut this, it's 2 1/4. So you slide this down 2 1/4. But there's give and take, there are variances. So I'll cut 5 or 6 pieces and see what has to be adjusted first. When I figure out either has to go a teensy bit this way or a teensy bit that way because of my width. That's what you're thinking about, because of your width. Once you lock it down and you get your measurement and you're happy with it, then you put a stop block here. It can be, this can be your stop block. It can be, this can be a stop block. It can be, you could just put a block, not this big, but you could put something like this, but if it was cut off. You know, you don't want something, you know, of course you can just see what I'm doing there, but I was just giving you an example. Once you get that locked down, you can go into production mode. When you're in production mode, make sure this is secure. Make sure you don't get sawdust inside here, because that'll also make it'll screw you up over time. So whatever you do is just, you lock this down when you're happy with your measurement. So the same thing applies for if you're going to cut, and I'm going to talk about cutting the chips in half. If you want to cut the chips in half, this is another jig. It's the same concept. This is 30 degrees, 30 degrees. You put a chip in here, and then right here, you'll be able to know if it is the size you're looking for by taking 2 pieces that you've cut of scraps and comparing them to whole pieces and how they line up. So when you get your measurement down and you're happy with this, then you do the same thing. You screw this down, and then you have your jig for this. The same concept when you're making these halves. And I can use this. You slide this down, and then you cut a couple scraps, and if it works out, you put a stop block right here. You can put this here, and you can kind of use that as a gauge, that little nub right there. This scrap will be no good, and this is the scrap you're looking for. The same thing with the halves. You'll get a good one, and you'll have a bad one. You can save the scraps and make something. That's always something you can do. But you can, the possibilities are endless. So I've showed you how to cut these. Also, this is a left side. If you ever want to cut things from the left, you can do the same concept. It doesn't matter so much if you can flip the wood over and you have a good side and a bad side. Here, these are a not so good side and a good side. So it really doesn't matter when you're dealing with small pieces like this and they both line up. It only kind of matters whenever you're dealing with pieces this big and you're coming into something like this. If I were to take this and this goes together. This doesn't. It will remove this. This doesn't. One's a left, one's a right. Now, we could stick one of those halves in here, but that's the difference when you have rights and lefts. That starts getting into a different issue, but I wanted to point that out because you can cut from the right, you can cut from the left. And you can see how the patterns are on these when you're looking at rights and lefts of what I'm talking about. All these are the same. That's why you see them all going that way, as long as I haven't turned them. You understand? Like if you turn them like that, that's where it gets a little different. But all these patterns are going to stick one direction. I'm going to fill this in. This is going to go in the window above me, behind me, and it's going to be a filler. This is an ongoing project, and I'm using up my last bit of scraps. So let's recap. We got the production knocked out. I showed you how to dial things in. If you have any questions, feel free. It's a lot of information, and I try to keep the video as short as possible. And again, I keep my scraps to make these. I have abundance. I just this is a little smaller. You don't want to go above 4 inches. I've had this issue here. And I hope this video helped, and go create something. Have fun. Take care.